Hey guys, welcome to the Movie Champ Show, episode number 35. My name is Zakary Cheatham. With me tonight I have...
E.J. Flemming.
Yeah, oh, I took that off too soon. Anyways.
It's fine, it's fine. They know who we, if they're long-time fans, they know who we are at this point.
Well, anyways, guys, like I said, this is episode 35. I mentioned this, I believe it was last episode, that this isn't going to always be a weekend. What's up?
It says reconnection.
Oh, it's just my remote. You were fine.
Okay. I was just wondering about it because it said 0 kilobytes for a brief moment.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really weird. That's the part that caught my eye.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways.
Well, okay. If we left for a little bit, hello again.
Ben Green, we're good.
We're good. All right.
But yeah, we got a pretty stacked show today. We got a little bit of movie news, a whole lot of trailers, and quite a few movies.
Mm-hmm. We've been busy, even though we haven't done our show. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. So we pretty much have caught up on most of the movies that were released recently.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're putting them out now.
Yes.
Doing our reviews.
Yes.
Sorry, I hit the keyboard. But anyways, so we'll go ahead and jump into the show.
Mm-hmm. Go right ahead.
And with our very first story, I can't really read. Can you read this story for me?
Yes, I can.
If I put it
I got the better angle because of the glare.
Oh, yeah. Hang on 1 second. There we go. Okay, and that is some Batman news. So let's go ahead and there you go.
Said, those of you who are hoping to see Ben Affleck don the cape and cowl again in the Batman, I have some bad news for you. It's looking unlikely. Not only does the latest version of writer-director Matt Reeves' script reportedly skew towards a younger take on the Cape Crusader, at least in the first act, Warner Brothers is in a state of flux where DC projects are concerned, and Affleck also has a pretty busy shooting schedule that has only gotten busier in recent weeks.
There's more. This is page 2.
Oh. In the Hollywood Reporter write-up that recaps the recent executive shakeups at DC Entertainment and looks ahead to Warner Brothers' DC movie plans, the Batman appeared as a side note to the whole thing. There's no official confirmation yet, but if Reeves' focus on the younger version of Batman is the direction the film is going, it is unlikely that Affleck would step in to revisit the role he played in Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Justice League.
Alrighty. So, there's a lot of information.
That's a lot to take in. It really is.
But we've both been saying this for a little while. We would not mind a DC reboot.
No.
We didn't really care for the direction it was heading.
No.
From Joss Whedon or from Zack Snyder.
Mm-hmm.
Lost his name.
Yeah.
But yeah, this doesn't necessarily say, this story is not actually saying that Ben Affleck's not going to be in here. It's more a story, the fact that the story is going to feature a younger Batman.
Yeah.
At least for part of it. So it's, if you put 2 and 2 together, it does look like it's not going to be Ben Affleck in this, which would be unfortunate. I wouldn't mind just the story reboot and keeping Ben Affleck, but if this is going to refresh what's the DC has been with doing with Batman and pretty much the whole Justice League besides Wonder Woman, I'm fine with this.
Yeah, because every step they've made outside of Wonder Woman has been a giant one.
Yeah,
a giant misstep in the wrong direction.
All right, maybe we'll go a little better now. Give it a second. Okay.
All right. Hello again, everybody.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense, but it's fine.
It's fine.
But anyways, this Batman story, like I said, there's not a lot there for us to talk about.
No.
We gave if you have been watching the show for any period of time, you know our opinion on the DC universe.
I want it to succeed, but right in its current state.
I mean, there's also more to this story besides what's in this. There's obviously a big shakeup with Warner Brothers right now, being that AT&T just bought them out.
Yeah, that's right. They brought some.
Also, Jeff Johns.
Yeah, he's left as the creative head of DC Entertainment.
Yes.
And now he's like gonna start his own production company to work on the Green Lantern Corps movie.
Yeah. So he's obviously he's what they have like what's called the first pick. So basically, he's working now as a producer rather than an executive, which is better for him because he's a creative guy.
We got a comment that you might want to check out.
Hey, that's my girlfriend. He said hello. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah, that's a lot going on with Warner Brothers right now.
Yeah, they got
with. I mean, like I said, they got a Suicide Squad movie coming out. They got two Joker movies coming out.
I heard they got 6 in development.
6 Joker movies.
Yeah.
6 total movies of the Joker.
Yeah.
And 2 different kinds of Jokers at the same time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Technically 3.
3.
You gotta remember they got the Leonardo DiCaprio one floating around. Remember that one from a while back?
The Leonardo DiCaprio one that was floating around is the one with Joaquin Phoenix now.
Oh, that is the same one.
Yeah,
That's one.
the same one.
Oh, okay, I thought that was like that one, and that one. I'm like, wow.
The Joaquin Phoenix is gonna be in the Scorsese Joker.
Okay, I'm intrigued to see how all this is gonna play out.
And then Jared Leto's Joker's getting his own standalone movie.
It could be a situation with the AOL Time Warner all over again, where AOL Time Warner come in, and like a long time ago when the AOL Time Warner thing came on, Ted Turner was owned a company called WCW, World Championship Wrestling, and when AOL came in and bought Time Warner, the very first thing they did was drop WCW. Who's to say AT&T may do a similar move and drop DC?
That would be interesting.
That would be interesting.
We could probably do an entire editorial based on just the rumors that are going on.
Oh yeah,
there's DC right now. All the movies that could be in production or supposed to be in production.
Yeah, there's a lot
and also, we're supposed to be getting an Aquaman trailer sometime this week. That's another rumor floating around right now. Is that the Aquaman trailer will drop in this week? So.
I'm very concerned.
Yeah.
I want it to be good, but I'm very concerned.
I'm concerned too. But as far as because they got the casting for everything perfectly, it's just the execution that's wrong.
Yeah.
So I have a whole lot of trust in James Wan.
You're not alone in that.
But I don't have trust in DC, and I don't. James Wan's not somebody that DC is going to be able to push around, which is nice. So,
yeah, they walk in the room. Hey, James, we need you to do this. No.
Yeah.
All right. I guess it won't get done. Yep. I'm making my movie my way. Did I steer you wrong with The Conjuring? Well, no. Did I steer you wrong with what else?
Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious.
No, I'm talking. Has the Conjuring franchise made you a lot of money? Yes.
Did he not make Jen and the Holograms though? Was that him?
No, that was John Cho or something like that. I think.
Oh, okay.
John Chu.
John Chu. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that wasn't him.
No, his hands is clean of that mess.
Good.
Yes.
All right, but anyways, let's go ahead and I'm done with this story. So we'll go ahead and move on to something. To movie trailers, okay. Some of them aren't that interesting. Some of them are.
Yeah.
So this one I'm intrigued by, and that is the Bumblebee trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So, you read that one?
Yeah, I'll be the reader this evening.
Thank you.
On the run in the year 1987, Bumblebee finds refuge in a junkyard in a small Californian beach town. Charlie, on the cusp of turning 18, trying to find her place in the world, discovers Bumblebee, battle-scarred and broken. Bumblebee is scheduled for release on December 21st, 2018.
Okay, so this one I was more intrigued just from the production. I don't remember the director's name, but he's the one that did Hugo and the Two Strings.
Kubo and the Two
Strings,
yeah.
Something like that. I got the idea down.
Yeah, you did. You were in the general ballpark, but you just
yeah, Kubo and the Two Strings, which was critically was great. I haven't seen it yet.
I've actually seen that movie, and I enjoyed it a lot. I really did. It was very good. I'm a big stop motion nut.
Yeah.
And then when after the movie was done, they actually showed you how they made like the giant skeleton, and revealed that too was a giant puppet. I'm like, and it was a giant. It was truly as big to scale as it was shown in the movie, and it was like they actually built that, and that was impressive. So to see some, I don't know if the same kind of care will be taken as far as that concerned, because this is going to be obviously all CGI.
Right.
But I have confidence that he'll tell a good story.
Yes, and
even though it looks like it's going to heavily rip off the Iron Giant.
I would be fine with that.
Me too.
This is me getting the remake of a reboot of Iron Giant, which I love the original.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying it needs to be rebooted at all. But...
No, if you're gonna rip it off, if you're gonna rip off something, Iron Giant's a good one to rip off.
And I have a lot of, I say I have a lot of confidence in Haley Steinfeld, but she's still doing those Pitch Perfect movies. But still,
well, you got to do something to keep the lights on.
Yes. So, but this trailer though, definitely you can see this is a new tone. Well. Not that they have had a consistent tone in the Transformers movies.
No, not at all. This one actually sets a tone.
Yeah, this one actually sets a tone. Looks like they have a good grasp on it, and what could be a simple narrative. I don't know what all the conflicts are in this movie, but looks great. It looks really, really good, and like you said, it does look a lot like the Iron Giant, which I'd be fine with.
And one thing I know, someone else pointed out to you, Martin Thomas on Double Toasted. You actually see the mechanics of the transformations.
That was really cool. That was a really cool visual.
Yeah.
Of him transforming from the car to the Bumblebee.
Yeah, because you look under, because you always wondered where do certain parts go when they're a car, and to see her look under the car and actually find his face is like, okay, yes. It would make sense that the head or more scientifically the brain would be where the engine would be.
Yeah, that was real. Excellent visual.
Yeah, and then
what I also like about this is that it's not going. This trailer anyway is that, and give it time, it can happen. It didn't give away anything.
No,
you just saw what you needed to see was
you saw that John Cena is a character in this movie. You saw Starscream's going to play a role, and you saw Bumblebee. And that's pretty much all you needed to see in a teaser.
Yes,
you just saw enough to know that this is the things you're going to get. I can't pick out plot points. Nope, I didn't see one explosion.
Nope.
I didn't see the abhorrent racism that the other Transformers movies have been known for.
Yeah.
There was no mud flaps and skids situation happening with this one. And that made me happy. There was no
so you didn't see any obvious Bay tropes.
No, none.
In here.
None.
So yeah, yeah, visually it looks great. So.
I just want to talk about Transformers 4 for a minute, and their research of the Romeo and Juliet laws.
Oh,
like, who thought that was a plot point we needed to know?
They needed to know that.
Yeah, why couldn't you just make her 18?
Yeah.
Why did you have to go through these loops and hurdles and all this? No, that would made it extra creepier that you had a character who carried a card in his wallet that explained that to people.
Now, is it at all disheartening to think about how they pulled the next Transformers off their schedule? Does that make you any worried at all for how this Bumblebee movie might be, or do you think it might be a little bit more confident that this Bumblebee movie might be so good that they have another idea?
Well, from what I've heard, that this Bumblebee movie might be the start of a Hasbro connected universe.
That's what I believe it.
So I'm thinking this is going to be like a soft reboot.
Because what they did this right after they bought a whole bunch of other
toy properties.
Like the G.I. Joe and Power Rangers and stuff like that. Or they've always had G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
But they bought the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And a couple
So this is what they say that John Cena's character may be the Nick Fury of this situation.
That'd be cool. Well, anyways, as long as we probably talked about a trailer for them.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and move on to another trailer that's probably going to have a good amount of discussion too. Halloween
2018.
I'll take this off. My girlfriend's terrified of this guy.
Laurie Strode comes to her final confrontation with Michael Myers, the masked figure who has haunted her since she narrowly escaped his killing spree on Halloween 4 decades ago. Halloween is set for release on October 19th, 2018.
All right, so here's what's going on here. Here's what we know about this. This is going to be to retcon a whole bunch of basically it's going to start right after the first Halloween, right?
Yeah, like basically The shape gets shot, falls out the window, and then he's gone.
Yep.
And then 40 years later, this is where we are.
Yep. So, and all
spoilers.
Yeah. So yeah, we got this is basically where we're going to be starting from, or we're not starting right from there in this movie. This is 40 years later.
Yeah,
30 or 40 years later. Sorry if you were around when that came, and I just totally maybe added a lot of extra years to your life. I don't know when this came out.
Yeah, like oh my,
Yeah.
and
it's 30, you idiot.
No, it came out 70 something, so it's
good.
40.
So I was right, 40 something. Okay.
Yeah, they also established in all the media that it's 40 years later.
Oh, good.
And the thing I just read said 4 decades later.
Boy, was I listening.
Yeah, oh yeah. Them ears work great.
Yeah. Well, 40 years ago then. All right, so this is gonna be 40 years after, and this trailer was pretty good at not giving away too much. It's probably not an overly thought out plot, anyways. But
They didn't give away a lot, but they did have a lot of Easter eggs too that alluded to the character's past.
yes.
Like right in the opening trailer, when one of the characters goes, wasn't that her brother?
Yeah.
And she goes, no, that was not. That was a rumor. That immediately retcons a lot of the later Halloweens right there.
And then we get with this cool little revenge plot with Jamie Lee Curtis's character, Lori.
Yeah, who wants him to break out of the nut home, so
to go out.
so she can kill him.
Yeah.
Pretty much, I'm like, well, that's a unique take. I want him to come find me so I can put him down myself.
Retcon or not, though, we've seen her do that several times already.
We've seen her try to do that.
But didn't she not chop his head off in H2O?
But they revealed that was like the ambulance driver.
Oh crap! I never watched H2O. I just remember that little spot in the trailer.
Yeah, like he
giving it away.
Yeah, he did it. She did it, but it wasn't to Michael himself.
And then he was in Resurrection. I think he killed her. I think in Resurrection or something.
Yes. And then he fought Busta Rhymes in a flaming building. Def Jam Fight for New York style. So I'm like, so this is where we are right now, huh?
Yeah.
and was getting the upper hand.
Yes. So, but this was written by Danny McBride and David Gordon Green.
Mm-hmm.
Is what his name is.
The Pineapple Express dudes.
Yes. So I didn't see any bits of comedy in there, which might.
I saw a little bit of comedy in there, like with the whole closet scene when she kept trying to close.
That was funny and terrifying at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh man, that turned out to be terrible. I was like, there's no way there's anybody behind that door. Like, there's no way. Oh my god, I'm still pumped out. It's like, God, he's still there.
And he's like, Clue.
There's no way.
He's like, and how much of a douche is Michael to just let her do that a few times before? Like, you know what? I'm bored now.
And then the teeth thing. Oh my gosh. This movie does establish that this is going to be very scary.
Oh yeah, like when he dropped the teeth into the privacy stall of the bathroom, like, I don't really. What's the point of that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't scare easily, and I was uneasy watching this, like in the middle of the day, watching the trailer.
Yeah, I was like, up, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed watching this. I'm like, no, I don't want this.
Yeah.
I don't like
this.
This
like horror movies.
No, this Michael Myers is like.
So this isn't Rob Zombie's. You can that, which is already you can already tell from this. This isn't going to be like the Rob Zombie one.
No, there's no going to be
Bloodbath Massacre.
Just because I got the red corn syrup in the back to do it.
No, there's no hacking away at Octavia Spencer. That's still a sick scene. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on to our next movie trailer, and that is Bad Times at the El Royale. Royale.
Even movies are getting battle royales now.
Yeah.
Good one. 7 strangers, each with a secret to bury, meet at a rundown hotel in Lake Tahoe in 1960s California. Over the course of a fateful night, they all get one last chance at redemption before everything goes wrong. Bad Times at the El Royale is scheduled to release in theaters on October 5th, 2018.
All right, so this one I am super excited about. This one, I'm always excited. If you haven't noticed here, I'm a huge Jeff Bridges fan.
Yeah,
we'll watch him in anything, even if it's R.I.P.D.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that.
Or the whatever that's I don't remember. It was something with wizards and stuff that he did.
Oh, the Seventh Son.
Seventh Son, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, you really are a fan because you sit through those.
Yeah,
I'm surprised
you them with a good time and bad.
I'm surprised. Side note about R.I.P.D. At that point when you realize Ryan Reynolds is more proud of R.I.P.D. than Green Lantern. Because he didn't make any R.I.P.D. jokes in any of the Deadpool movies, but he went out of his way to kill himself for Green Lantern.
And that was bad, but I don't think it was as controversially bad as Green Lantern was.
Yeah, because R.I.P.D. was an original property, or was at least based on an unheard comic book. I can't remember.
And it's more easy to pick fun at another comic book character than it is to pick one out of an irrelevant
pretty much Men in Black Ghostbusters.
Yes, Men in Black ripoff.
Yeah. Like if you cross Men in Black and Ghostbusters, R.I.P.D.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, with this one, it looks amazing.
Yeah, it does look good. It looks very.
It's got the same vibe that I got watching that Cabin in the Woods movie, or with the trailer originally for Cabin in the Woods, where there's something more that's going on here that we aren't.
Yeah, like when John Hamm's character said, "Well, they make me watch." They said, "Who? The management." Well, whose management?
Yeah,
I thought it was you. Because you were the one telling people you need to work on your advertising and all this. Like, I thought you were the guy in charge, but whose management?
Not so sure that they needed to give away that Jeff Bridges, or how he's not a priest. I don't think they needed to give that away in the trailer.
But they didn't need to give. They didn't need to give it away. But it
didn't give away what he is.
But he's some kind of bank robber or something.
Yeah.
But why did he choose a priest as his getaway get up?
Yeah.
And what greater purpose does him being
He's going to question a priest, though, is probably what it is.
Yeah.
Like, oh, go ahead, priest.
Yeah. It's one of those things, is like, there's a point to it, but what's the point? And why did they make a point to tell us now that that's the case?
Mm-hmm. And then
because we all see the characters figure it out pretty quickly.
Right.
So it's like, if it's not a mystery to them, why keep it a mystery for us?
Yeah. So, this cast looks amazing too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's Jeff Bridges, Chris Hemsworth,
John Hamm.
Is Carey Mulligan in this thing?
I think I remember seeing her name. Yeah.
I think Carey Mulligan. There's a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
I just haven't.
This
I haven't
looks
seen
like
the
like if you took Hateful Eight and moved it out of the 1860s and moved it to the 1960s.
Yes, exactly. And add some kind of fantasy, sci-fi-ish element of whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, what it is, unknown element of what's going on.
Yes.
Because you know there's an unknown element of what's going on. Is the El Royale a metaphor for something? Or is there really a hotel at all? Or
Yes.
kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. So, wow, man. That would have been a great segue into another hotel movie that we're going to be reviewing later.
Yeah.
But anyways, but yeah, that's if you haven't checked out that trailer, make sure you check out Bad Times in the El Royale.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this one sure to make probably every one of us on this couch cry. That's Disney's Dumbo remake.
Holt was once a circus star, but went off to war, and when he returned, it had terribly altered him. Circus owner Max Medici, played by Danny DeVito, hires him to take care of Dumbo, a newborn elephant whose oversized ears make him the laughingstock of the struggling circus troupe. But when Holt's children discovers that Dumbo can fly, silver-tongued entrepreneur V.A. Vanderveer, played by Michael Keaton, and aerial artist Colette Marchant, played by Eva Green, swoop in to make the little elephant a star. Dumbo is scheduled to hit theaters on March 29th, 2019.
Oh boy, yep. grabbing my tissues for that one. Even this little teaser, man.
Yeah, like it did tug your heartstrings and all this and all like that. Yeah,
I got all the feels in this one. But I mean, this Tim Burton needs this to be a good movie.
He really does.
He's on a hot streak of garbage. Or I don't want to call it garbage, but of just not good movies. I guess some of them are garbage. Some of them are just okay movies.
Yeah, like Alice Through the Looking Glass was.
Because if Tim Burton was on his game, The Shape of Water would have been sort of probably something that he would have been the kind of movie he would have been making.
Yes,
he was back on his game like he was 20 years ago. So I don't know. But for this trailer, it looks amazing. But most of the time, his trailers do look amazing.
His trailers look really good. Then the movie comes in and like,
yeah.
Where are we? What's happening? Why is it taking so long to get to the good stuff?
Yeah. So he's moved out of the Alice in Wonderland universe, hopefully, and this is something.
And hopefully
sweet and emotional. It's got to be that. It's got to be those sweet moments. There's got to be some emotional moments. There's got to be some scary moments.
Yeah, and like I'm intrigued to see what the pink elephant scene is gonna be like.
Yeah,
because that scene like animated is like, okay, who gave the animator LSD? Who thought this was a good idea? Yeah. They told him, draw what you see, but just make it all elephants. And then he did that, and it terrified children for years.
It's nice to see Danny DeVito and Michael Keaton working together again since their Batman days with Tim Burton. So I don't know. I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful that this is this will be a good movie.
I'm hopeful too. So
and Dumbo looks great. The visuals. He's been working on this movie for a while.
Yeah, but they announced this almost a decade ago.
Yeah. They pretty much announced this about a decade ago, and it's been in and out of production, or pre-production, I guess. And then finally, as I know, Will Smith was attached to this for a little bit, and then he dropped out to do something else. I think it was like Suicide Squad or something. I don't remember what he dropped out for. And then Michael Keaton, I guess, is playing that role now. But yeah, this looks awesome, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I just have one complaint about the plot line of Dumbo. You're a circus who touts that everything is like the weirdest and the strangest and the most unique things in the world. But yet you laugh at an elephant with giant ears?
Yeah.
You would think that would be like the front and center thing you have.
Yeah.
Look at this elephant that's unique to the world.
Right.
That's the one thing about Dumbo that always bugged me. Like, this elephant has ears unlike any other elephant on Earth, and you make fun of him for it instead of making him your feature attraction. Because people will want to pay to see this unique elephant.
Yeah. So like I said, he's got to just land this tone. And, I mean, he can keep everything can stay the same, but he just has to get the tone right. And that's not really so much what you get from this trailer. You get, but I do, like I said, you get that nostalgic feel a little bit, and that emotional feel that you get seeing little Dumbo.
That could have gone quieter.
What's that?
Me opening that could have gone quieter. I'm like, let me take this off.
Get the sound bounced.
It's a clack. Like, well, man, everybody knew what I just did.
Well, guys, that is the end of our trailer reviews.
Yes.
And now we will move on to our movie reviews. I am vastly interested in speaking about some of these movies. All right, first one is Ocean's 8.
5 years, 8 months, 12 days, and counting. That's how long Debbie Ocean has been devising the biggest heist of her life. She knows what it is going to take. A team of the best people in the field, starting with her partner in crime, Lou Miller. Together, they recruit a crew of specialists, including jeweler Amita, street con Constance, suburban mom Tammy, hacker Nineball, and fashion designer Rose. Their target? A necklace worth more than $150 million.
Wow, that's a lot there. Huh?
Yeah.
This movie was. That's not how we do reviews. we don't talk about just how the movie was right off the top.
No,
we don't give
no.
some vague thing. We talk about the overall quality
Yes,
of everything.
we just don't go off top. Come on now.
No, what am I doing? This is not amateur night.
No, the amateur night was almost a year ago. we're not professional, but we're pro-am.
Yes. So, well, anyway, this movie has a great cast. Sandra Bullock, Mindy Kaling, that's her name.
Mindy Kaling, yeah.
Yeah. Kate Blanchett, and Helena Bonham Carter, Anne Hathaway. This is a great cast of women. And this was as far as the chemistry between everybody was pretty spot on. I believe the chemistry. I like Kate Blanchett and Sandra Bullock were the ones that were like best friends for a while, and they had that chemistry going for them that worked. I thought the heist was pretty clever. I thought it was really, as far as when we got to that point in the movie, was well executed. And I thought that the comedy worked. It wasn't like laugh out loud comedy, but it had some pretty good bits in it. What gets me though is its connection to Steven Soderbergh's Ocean's movies. There's barely one there. There's about probably two of the least expected cast members that kind of tie the two movies together. Because it was like, it really literally was anybody from like the 11 that were there. It was some other, like I said, supporting cast members from those movies that tied them together. And then they mention Frank Ocean for a little bit. Oh, not Frank Ocean. Not Frank Ocean.
He been thinking about you.
Whatever Ocean. I don't know what his
Danny
name is.
Ocean.
Danny Ocean.
Again, I just read his name.
Danny Ocean.
During the description.
Dude, I don't listen.
Clearly you don't.
I barely prepare my own thoughts here.
Yeah, clearly I can see this. You just kind of fire off top, but the top is kind of broken.
Yes. Danny Ocean. Oh
yes.
Gosh.
Frank Ocean and Frank Ocean's 11 would be interesting to watch though.
Either way, I don't know if it was in the trailer, but I won't give away what Danny Ocean's connection is to this movie, besides his sister.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, but besides that, they don't really get the tone. Like I said, is kind of all over the place. They don't. It doesn't have that consistent feel like they're in the hands of a good director, which is unfortunate, like Soderbergh was for at least the 2 out of those 3 Ocean movies.
So 11 and 13?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Star Trek. All the odd ones, it's like reverse Star Trek. All the odd ones were bad.
Yeah.
They're all good.
Yeah. Because, he had the bits of comedy, but, like, the cinematography was really good in those movies, where in this one it really felt kind of flat and uninspired. And those ones, the cameos kind of meant something, which they kind of did a little bit in here. You'll see like, oh wow, that's like Kim Kardashian right in the corner of the screen and stuff like that. There's really famous people that are just used as
background dressing, and it's like,
yeah,
it's creative. It's like it makes the world feel real. Like,
yeah,
like someone like her would just randomly be here.
Yeah.
She wouldn't be front and center, but you would see her looming around.
Yeah, so that's how they kind of did the same thing in this movie, like they did in that one.
But it just wasn't executed as well.
Right. And then, but where it should have ended was at the heist. The movie follows up with some things that I told you were contrived. Just like story elements that really didn't add anything more to the story, and kind of ruined the whole heist part. Because how did you execute that with all of these people when this was such a really a fragile and well planned out thing, where everybody had their part in this heist? And then I was like, how was there more to that that was executed from the side? There's no way. And I said, you could have just, like I said, just stopped right there at the heist, and didn't need to keep going and mess up your whole creative story. So that was really bad. That was really, really bad. But Anne Hathaway was probably the biggest standout performer in this movie, because she's kind of really seemingly playing a lot of herself in this, and I thought she was funny. Normally, I'm not a huge fan of Anne Hathaway, but she stood out in this movie, which was pretty cool. But I guess overall, I mean, this also had the similar like jazz beat music that was playing in the background that was nice. That gave it some of that Ocean's feel to it.
Mm-hmm. Can't be an Ocean's movie without it.
Yeah. So, like really, really expensive looking set pieces and props in this one. Especially that $150 million necklace looks like $150 million necklace. It says like 9 pounds or something. It's ridiculous.
You want to wear that around your neck?
Yeah.
Nope. That's how you get text neck without a cell phone.
And Rihanna was actually good in this. Well, she wasn't bad in this. I'll give it that. They really gave her a part that worked within her limited acting skills.
Mm-hmm.
And parts of it was kind of funny. So yeah, with that, I'm gonna give this movie 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
So just barely fresh, I guess. Is that?
Yeah,
right?
60 is fresh.
Okay, so 6.5 out of 10. I'll give it that. So, a little better than I had expected. I really actually came in there with the higher expectations for it because I liked the trailers. But then it kind of, I don't know, it lowered eventually, and then it was everything I thought it would be, which was unfortunate. All right, so guys, have you seen Ocean's 8? Let me know what you think about it. And if you haven't, let me know if you plan to go see it from this review. And we're gonna move on to a movie we both saw.
Yes.
Hotel Artemis.
As you show a picture of Hereditary.
Crap. Well, let me fix that. Anyways, Hotel Artemis. We'll just go ahead and read that one real quick.
Okay.
I'll read that one.
Okay.
I don't have a picture for it.
Okay.
I mean, I have one, but I ain't gonna be able to pull it up while we're doing this.
I can hold the poster up as you read it. I have
Do
to.
that. Right.
Let me go get the poster.
Okay.
Hold on a second, people.
Oh man, I know.
Hey.
Thought it was within arm's reach.
No, it's fine. I got a stretch anyway, but
that's
I'm
fine.
starting to get leg cramps. That's fine.
All right. So, Hotel Artemis, set in riot-torn near-future Los Angeles, Hotel Artemis follows the nurse who runs a secret members-only emergency room for criminals. All right. So, I saw this one, like I said.
Yeah.
And I thought this movie, as far as the cinematography, the story, the acting, were all pretty spot on.
Yeah, it was pretty well done. It was very well done.
Yes. So at the time I couldn't really think of anything negative to say about it.
I saw something in it.
Okay, go ahead and talk about your negatives because I have some too. Now.
Okay, one thing that I thought about it is like it did a lot of world building. I just didn't feel the world being built. Like they said, and like Waikiki and Nice, they had a history together.
Yeah.
And it was obviously implied that it was romantic, but how long?
Yeah. So they introduced a lot of things, but not a lot of it got fulfilled.
Not a lot of it didn't get expanded on.
Expanded on or fulfilled, like you said, just like the riots and stuff. We don't really know why they're rioting, what the riots are about.
Oh, they actually give that more clarity than what's going on in the Artemis.
Yeah.
It basically is about a company named Clearwater basically shutting off water to the entire town of LA.
Right.
And then the people being upset about the fact that
they're saving it for the rich and
yeah, that's pretty much saving it for the rich and wealthy, and then like leaving us to basically die of thirst.
Yeah. So but yeah, there's a lot. The problem I have with the movie is that it's forgettable. I'm not gonna remember this movie. Probably after we do this review. Unfortunately, I don't know.
I can kind of see why you would think it would be forgettable because it unlike John Wick. Here's where John Wick succeeded, where Hotel Artemis did not.
The action.
No, not even the action. The action was okay, but everything in John Wick felt like a character in and of itself.
Right.
Like the first time he went to the Continental, you realize this is not your normal hotel.
Right. Well, that's the Continental and the Artemis could probably exist in the same universe.
But that's what I'm saying. But at the same time, what I'm saying is the Continental had a feel to it, where like when you walked into a Continental, it felt like you weren't on the streets no more. You were in like John Wick Chapter 2. When him and Common were fighting in the streets and they crashed into the Continental. At that point, all their mood and demeanor had to change because of the rules of the Continental.
Right. And
you would be excommunicado if you didn't.
Yeah. Same thing here in Hotel Artemis, which was a cool idea. Is the fact that you can get all these dangerous criminals in there, but the rule is they can't kill each other or anything like that. And that I thought that was a creative thing. A really neat.
You actually have to have membership to get in.
So like I said, there's a lot of really, really cool and interesting things in this. Especially the hotel itself is gorgeous. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's just a well-designed building.
Yeah, but just unfortunately the people within here weren't all that memorable, even though they put on excellent performances. Yeah, that's the weird part about this thing.
And Charlie Day kicked up the annoying to a point where it was like, you were happy to see he got what he got.
Yes. So I think the movie could have benefited from maybe 30 more minutes. Is probably what it is. For
I can see why. But they wanted to keep it light on its feet.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
That's the other thing.
If anything,
movie is brisk. It doesn't slow down really.
As like once they get to the hotel, it's like, okay, movie, go.
Yeah.
Cause they explain how to get to the hotel. Then you get to the title. Then after that, it's like. Okay, we're in the hotel now. Go.
Yeah, and Zakary Quinto could have been a really good villain in this movie, but they didn't give him a lot to work with. First off,
yeah, then you have Jeff Goldblum as like the lead. It's pretty much rules the town.
That would have been something, that would have been better had we not even known he was in the movie.
Yeah,
that could have been a great reveal. I was like, oh my gosh, that would have probably made me remember the movie more. But I already knew he was going to be in the movie.
Yeah,
from the trailer.
Like they just kept alluding to the Wolf King the whole movie, and then Zakary Quinto goes, he's a minute and 30 minutes out, and then like they do the whole without the rule breakers, where would you be? And we didn't know it was going to be Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. That would have been an iconic scene because the way he was reflected in her shades.
The movie was shot for us not to know he was going to be in the movie, and I think that
the studio was like, studio done did
really good in Thor Ragnarok. We gotta make sure we sell him.
Yeah, just hitting buttons and not knowing what they're doing as always.
He was in there for probably like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
probably.
less than 10 minutes. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that would have been something that would have probably benefited this movie, was us not knowing he was in the movie at all.
Yeah.
Jodie Foster was really good in this movie.
Oh yeah.
I thought at the beginning that this was probably going to be an Oscar-worthy performance, but it didn't really pan out because they didn't give her too much to do.
No,
they tried to give her a backstory. They tried to like shoehorn in an arc for her, but it didn't. Ultimately, I didn't feel that arc for her. I didn't feel that sympathy I was supposed to.
But you know what character I really cared about, surprisingly? Everest. Yeah, he was.
He was awesome. Dave Bautista's character.
Yes.
Dave Bautista was good. I like that he's taking these parts that fit within his acting abilities, and I mean he's getting better and better every time.
Yeah, because he's like playing that big dude, but who's also funny.
Yes.
He's like he actually has a personality.
Got a lot of good one-liners.
Yeah.
Just the stuff that he mumbles to himself out of frustration.
Yeah.
Kind of had me cracking up. Because him and Jodie Foster had great chemistry.
Yeah, they actually felt like someone like you actually felt like even in all this craziness, if things went really bad, Everest would never betray the nurse.
Right. and Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah.
He was great in this movie.
Yeah.
I didn't really care too much for his story. I didn't.
It was generic.
Yeah.
I'm
not gonna leave my brother.
I'm not gonna leave my brother behind no matter what happens. He could be the death of me, and I'll be okay with that kind of thing. But then something happens, and like he's like, well, what do I do now?
Yeah.
I've always did it this way because of this. Now that I don't have that, what do I do?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But then, like I said, the action. I think the best action scene. There's a really, really, really great fight scene. What's the actress's name? Sophia Boutella.
Yeah.
Sophia Boutella, probably the best part of this whole movie, really. But her fight scene is pretty great, but it's really, really, really short. It's probably about 30 seconds.
I actually feel like this movie was longer too, and then the studio made another dumb decision to.
Well, somebody said there's a 3-hour. The director says there's a 3-hour cut that we'll never see of this movie.
Yeah, just like there's a 4-hour cut.
A 3-hour cut of an 80-minute movie. How could you cut so much out of this thing?
You probably got more world building out of it, like outside of the hotel.
It's just one of those things where the studios didn't see this as such a marketable thing, and they said, "Well, make it short so we can get more screen time."
Yeah, and obviously that worked.
Yeah,
because it made $3 million the whole weekend.
That's sad.
Yeah, it's sad because you actually see that they actually tried to make something with this.
Yeah. So this was a very, very original movie. It really is a kind of like another 80s sci-fi movie throwback or whatever, one of those throwaway action movies. Just except for Upgrade was good.
Yeah. And one thing about the movie, there was one plot point that didn't go anywhere.
What was that?
They tried to make it seem like it was going to be like the main focus of the movie in the trailers, but then you get there, and it's like every character was like, "Wait, you had that?"
Is that what's that? Oh yeah. You're right. That didn't pan out to anything.
And everybody was like, "You have this, so you're going to die." And you see, like it's not really spoiler if you did show it in the trailer.
Right? Yeah, the diamond thing.
Yeah, like the little vial with the diamonds in it and it's hidden in the pen.
Yeah,
that goes nowhere.
It goes absolutely.
They're like, the Wolf King finds out you have this. You're pretty much dead. You know what he does to people who steals from him.
They use it as a distraction for a second.
But like pretty much everybody goes. Like at one point, it's almost like someone goes, "Wait, that's been missing."
Yeah. Like kind of, you know how they complain about in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 how they waste, or really Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and in Infinity War they waste Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
They did that in this movie too. He had that one scene where he's picking up like an axe. It's like, oh, where are we going with this?
Well, we see a little bit of it.
We see a little bit of it, but it's all mostly off screen.
Yeah.
And it ultimately probably lasts about 10 seconds. There was nothing that really memorable about that part.
Yeah.
It was like cool. This is going to be Dave Bautista going nuts, and it doesn't happen.
Well, we see the end. We see the aftermath.
Yeah, we see the aftermath, but that's not what.
And then you see him. You also notice that. Yeah.
Yeah, but Jenny Slate was okay in this movie too.
Yeah, that was a plot point I did not expect them to take in.
Yeah, that one actually added a little. It kind of pulled the movie into a little bit more of some emotional territory, and I thought it was really cool. What am I thinking of? Just a moral dilemma that it kind of puts Jodie Foster in. In there, that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, this movie. When I left the movie, I was ultimately satisfied. I thought this was maybe a good rental. It's not so great on the big screen that it demands to be seen in a theater, but I would probably like to see a sequel. Is what it is.
Yeah, if you want to see a sequel, buy it on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
this is gonna be one of those movies that tanked in theaters, but the Blu-ray audience is gonna make it so that a sequel gets made.
Yeah, if the Blu-ray promises me at least 30 more minutes of unseen footage, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to see a 3-hour cut of this thing to see if it actually is more just better. Anyways, guys, did you see Hotel Artemis? I doubt you did. But
aren't you forgetting something?
what's that? I got another movie I'm about to go to.
Scores?
Scores. We haven't been scoring thing. Oh yes, I did. I did score the last one.
You scored Ocean's 8, and now we get to this one. It's like, well, on to her. The next one.
Yeah. Sorry. I forgot we got to score this thing, and that's usually my part of the show.
Yes.
So, for scores, I'm going to give this one an 8.5 out of 10.
I'm going to go one lower and say 7.5 out of 10.
That's a fair rating. It's probably more accurate, actually. But since we put our scores together, that's going to put it at an
8.
8.
Yes,
I'm happy with.
Yeah, I'm happy with it about it at an 82. I'm just saying there was some moments where I felt they could have delivered more on.
And develop more, just a little bit more better character development, because like I said, there's so much there's enough there to satisfy some things.
What it was, a lot of characters were just one note,
right?
Like Acapulco, Zachary Quinto's character, Jodie Foster in a way,
and I think we had enough Jeff Goldblum in there. Jeff Goldblum was in there as much as he needed to be. But unfortunately, it just was, the impact took a huge blow from us knowing he was in the movie in the first place. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, that's for us total. It's an 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. I'll probably pick up Hotel Artemis on Blu-ray too, because I do want to see more of this world, especially since they find out there's others like this in this world.
Yeah, I won't spoil it,
but I didn't exactly say where. I'm just saying that it was obvious like you can't be a criminal and only expect like, well, I got shot in New Hampshire, better go to L.A.
All right, guys. We'll go ahead and move on to our next review. Well, I figured out where the Hotel Artemis picture went.
Yes. Now click Hotel Artemis, and then we'll be on track. Hey, there we are.
All right, so Hereditary. All right.
When Ellen passes away, her daughter's family begins to unravel cryptic and increasingly terrifying secrets about their ancestry. The more they discover, the more they find themselves trying to outrun the sinister fate they seem to have inherited.
All right, Hereditary. This is a movie I've been looking forward to seeing for several months. Once I saw that first trailer, I was like, oh yeah, that's one I'm going to see. And that was one that you said, for sure, no, not for me.
Yeah. We went there. We were like 2 ships passing in the night.
Yes.
He was 2 Hereditary, and I was like, nope.
Not for me. Yeah, that trailer looked legitimately terrifying. And then what also built up that enthusiasm for me seeing it was all the great reviews it was getting out of all the film festivals it was playing at. So I was like, definitely hyped to go see this one, because I was hyped to see Hotel Artemis. When we saw the Hotel Artemis, like, definitely gonna go see that.
Yeah, when that trailer dropped, I was like, I'm there.
Yeah, and then when I got to the theater, I was like, okay, I have the option Hotel Artemis or Hereditary that I'm gonna go see first, because that's how I go see the one I'm most excited to see, and I picked Hereditary, and was not that good.
You were talking like there was a giant baboon backing up. There's a big butt coming, and everybody sees it.
Yes. Yeah, I was. I'm not on the Hereditary train like a lot of the reviewers are for some reason. It just didn't. It didn't. I could not connect with these over the top characters in this movie. I was left with a lot of questions that I eventually had answered after some thought, and then just ultimately wasn't satisfied with those answers. Because I get that there's some metaphors in there, but the movie on its face value was very, very emotionally shallow. I thought the performances were great. I was like, these guys are really selling these really performing really well. I wish I could relate. But
I wish I could care, but I don't.
I thought, like I said, I thought Toni Collette, and right now they are. They announced today that they are trying to push for her to be nominated for an Oscar for this movie, and I can see why. She, like I said, great performances, but just I don't know. It was the story and how fast it was moving with all of these really really emotional people. Because the emotional, I guess the emotion is justified due to how, without spoiling anything, how insane the situations are that they're going through in this movie. I can see being extremely emotional. I'd be a wreck, but I would hope that my turmoil and heartbreak and stuff would be a little bit more relatable. And for some reason, it just didn't work in this movie. Visually, it was amazing and terrifying and shocking. I was very, very unsettled. And the director, there's a visual that the director does, because I was totally surprised by the first 20 or 25 minutes in this movie. I was shocked. Everything was working emotionally for me up to the 25-minute mark, I believe. After that, I was like, why am I no longer feeling anything for these characters? And like I said, a lot of it just had to do with the style of the acting and the I guess the overly energized cinematography in this movie, because the cinematography is great, but as far as telling an emotional story, it's difficult because it's all over the place. It's hectic. Because you've seen the stuff in the trailer where the people are like slamming their head up against the wall. It's just too much of trying to look scary and not enough of trying to make me believe what
This
these
is
characters
actually
are
happening.
going through. Yeah. So, and like I said, Alex Wolff was, because it played it straight for the most part, the first 25 minutes, and then just goes off into something weird that I didn't care for. But Alex Wolff, if you have seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about, what happens at the 25-minute mark. That scene was so well acted, so well directed. I nearly shed a tear how well he was selling that performance. And then after that, it seemed like he had, because Alex Wolff isn't much younger than me. He's in his early 20s. He becomes a 9-year-old, basically. I've been through a lot of crap, but I don't cry like a whimper like a like a toddler. Basically, he's probably lower than that. He turned into a 4 or 5-year-old, crying and saying, "Mommy, mommy, what in the world is that?" I don't know what in the world what all that was in his performance, but it wasn't selling me as he was supposed to be playing a high schooler, so like 16, 17 at least. But like I said, he's in his early 20s, I believe, and he was hamming it up for some strange reason. I didn't care for that. And like even the dad, there was a scene where they were like trying to conjure up a demon, I guess, and like the dad was playing the skeptic. He's like I don't want to do any of this. No, none of this is real. And he's like, but then Alex Wolff leans on his dad's shoulders, crying, like a little toddler. And he's like, "Stop it! You're scaring the boy." I was like, "Stop it! He's like 20-something years old. Cut it out."
He can drive away. He has a driver's license. He can go that way.
Yeah, he has his driver's license in this movie. That's a big part of one of the big scene in this movie is the fact that he can drive. So, or he can't drive, really.
DMV was not his friend that day.
No. Oh gosh, that was the most disturbing scene I've seen in a while. Was the car scene in this movie, and like I said, it told me up to the moment. Basically, Toni Collette is screaming on the ground, crying her eyes out. Okay, that's a little bit too much. And then after that, it continued on in this a little bit too much.
What it sounds like it sounds like the acting is very on par to one of the director's earlier films, a short film he made, as a matter of fact.
So you've seen the short film?
I have not seen it.
Oh, okay.
I've seen clips.
Okay.
I'm scared to watch it.
I haven't seen
this one. That one terrifies me more than this did.
Yeah.
The Strange Case About the Johnsons.
Okay, I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much about a dude developing an Oedipus complex for his father.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some.
But the movie, like I said, the movie, as far as I get what the director was trying to do, but as far as it working for me on an emotional level, it didn't work, and that's why I felt so disengaged from the experience of this movie. I don't like feeling that way. I don't like feeling like I'm no longer part of this story. I guess you could say.
It's like you're
going
no longer
along for the ride.
You're no longer experiencing it. You're just watching it.
Yeah, I've turned into a wallflower here, and I
You
don't
don't like it.
feeling. I feel totally detached from what's going on, and that takes away from the terror, like the sad parts, all the good emotional things that I should be feeling in the movie. And it helped. It left me feeling empty, which sucks when you're watching a movie that's supposed to be that emotionally engaging.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, like I said, because I got all the little nuggets of the clues that the director was leaving for me. Because like I said, I can follow the story. I thought the story was great, but the hammy acting and the over the top cinematography and all those little just. I don't know if you don't call them cutscenes, but those little rolls of the footage, like the kind of the sequences in this movie where that are mostly just dream sequences I didn't care for. It just takes me out of the realistic parts of the story, because this movie does ultimately probably wasn't supposed to be a supernatural movie. It turns into a supernatural movie, but it could have been played well more as a psychological thriller. Over the little bits of supernatural elements that they added to this movie, because like I said, that once it starts getting into the supernatural, it no longer is believable to me, and no longer becomes relatable, and takes me out of so many things. So, for the most part, it wasn't a supernatural story. If you look at the story as a whole, it was a really clever. I don't know what you would call it, but it had some. If you haven't seen it, that's why I need. I wish you had seen it so you could help me out with some of these things I'm blanking on.
I like to sleep.
Yeah.
Bed is important. Since I work like I work now, sleep is important. I just can't be up all night because I've seen Hereditary.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's.
I'm one of those dudes that watch a scary movie and be like, okay, where are the cartoons? I can't go to sleep without them.
I do want to see another. I would see another one from this director, because he does do horror well. It's just like I said, the artistic decision to have these actors
do what they did
took me out of it. It wasn't necessary either. It could have stayed scary without all of that. But no, I guess it really was a supernatural thing, because when she's trying to throw this book into a fire, her arm's catching on fire and stuff. It's like, okay, so yeah, there is some supernatural stuff. So it's pretty much a cursed movie, is what it is. There's a curse in this movie. That's all I'll give without spoiling it completely. So the curse part was kind of cool, but it's just I don't know. I'll go ahead and score this thing. I'll giving it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Like I said, it was a great movie, and I'm gonna try to watch it again to see if I can stay engaged. Yeah, I'll see if I can stay engaged, but I'm not gonna watch it in the theater again. Yeah, 7 out of 10. That's the movie champ score. That's my score right now, since I'm the only one that's seen it.
Yeah, and you're the only one that's going to see it.
Yeah,
that's the score that's going to stand.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, have you seen Hereditary? Do you disagree? I know that most of these movies that are super critically loved, I get a lot of crap for talking bad.
How dare you say that about this film?
Yeah. I'm still just getting over all the insults I was getting for not liking Call Me By Your Name. I had to delete some because they were really bad. For the most part, there was.
I need to keep up on the comments more, because by the time I see we get comments, probably the bad ones are already gone.
Yeah, well, they obviously missed my point, and this one will probably. I didn't give my point away I think I got most of part of my point.
People are going to be butthurt no matter what you say, so say what you say, and they fight about it in the comment section.
All right, guys. Well, that has been our show. My name is Walker Cheatham. You can find me at Walker Cheatham on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
My name is EJ Flemming. You can find me where that was. Geek Champs EJ.
Yeah. Well, anyways, guys, that's been the Movie Champs episode number 35. We will see you guys next time. Make sure that you check out. Oh, yes, I did it right this time.
Yay!
Last episode of the Movie Champs show. Check out our most recent movie review. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Make sure you hit that bell icon so you know when we go live or when new videos are uploaded. And we will see you next time. Bye.